Derm exam fiasco. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my exam fiasco that happened a few weeks ago. But if you're new here, welcome. I am a dermatology resident and I make content based on my own life experiences. I give advice for anyone who's thinking about or currently training in medicine. And if this sounds like something you're interested in, press the subscribe button now. But let's get into it. Why was my derm exam a fiasco? Let's start. So if you don't know what the derm core exam is, we have 4 core exams to make us eligible for taking the dermatology boards, which will make us board certified dermatologists. There are 4 core exams. I've already passed 2 of those, and I had to take the pathology core last month. And you have the options to actually take it at home or take it in a facility. I opted to take it at home. So let's talk about why my derm core exam became a fiasco. So when I first took my derm core exams, I did general derm and I did peds. I took it at home and it went so smoothly. I was like, this is great. This is so comfortable. I'm ready to do it again for my path core exam. So in my residency program, we actually get the day off on whichever day we want to take the exam. So even though it's available on Saturdays, a lot of us take it during the week, and it's a relatively shorter exam, especially if you're only doing one of them. So I took just path, and I actually had a lot of big home projects lined up for later that day. So I had to make sure that my exam, I finished it, and I gave myself an hour in between my exam finishing and my projects, because usually we finish our exams earlier than the time allotted. And I was just like, this is gonna be a great day. So I woke up feeling very positive, feeling very great about the exam. I felt very prepared. That should have been my warning, because I'm always feeling like, oh, I should have studied a little bit longer. Oh, I should have studied this more. But I was like, oh, I feel so good. I feel so prepared. Anyway, whatever. So I decided to go ahead and, so my test started at 9. I logged in at 8:30 because they give you 30 minutes to check in. I took pictures of my vicinity, which is required, took pictures of my ID, all of that stuff. I end up in the queue, and I am surprised because when I took my first exam and was in the queue, I was number 40, and I went through the queue within 5 minutes to be assigned a proctor. This time around, when I went into the queue, I was number 181, and I was only advancing up 2 in the line every 5 to 10 minutes, So it's 9:30 and I'm still in the queue and I'm starting to get nervous. But on the website, when we're waiting, there is a camera looking at us. It says, don't worry if you start your exam later. Once you're in the queue, you could still take your exam. So 9:45, I'm getting closer, and then 10 o'clock, I finally get into the be assigned a proctor, and they're like, we're checking your documents, everything's loading. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Then it says, it looks like there was a problem with your internet connection. We'll put you back in the queue. What? They put me back in the queue, and now I'm on the queue for 200 something. And mind you, this queue is moving a little bit faster, but now it's 10 o'clock. I have things planned. I was supposed to be finished my exam at around 11. So I'm like, no, this is crazy. So I call them, and first they're like, well, you missed the time of your exam, so you're going to have to be rescheduled. I was like, no, I didn't miss the time of my exam. I've been in this queue since 8:30 something. And then they're like, oh, well, it's a problem on our end. Oh, I thought it was a problem on my end. Okay, fine. So then we rescheduled it. After we rescheduled the exam, they gave me different options. I could have taken it that Saturday, but I decided to take it Friday at 7 p.m. because on Saturday, there's no one to call if there's a problem. So now I have to rush my projects that I had aligned for later that day, because now I have to come back to take this exam at 7 p.m. And then you have to do the check-in process, so you have to be there for 6:30. So with all of that, it was just a super stressful day. I was really, really upset. I was no longer feeling on my A game. So then I was just worried the whole day about how this exam was going to go. And then I finally come back later that day to take the exam. and I am so nervous. I'm just like, I hope everything goes right. I've never taken an exam at night also. I'm a morning person, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm so tired because I was doing my home projects. So I'm tired, feeling off my A game, and I'm just ready to take this exam. So we go through the process, and when I tell you the process to take the exam is just as easy as the first time I took the exam back in February. I was like, why couldn't this have happened in the morning? And then when I was in the queue, it went by really quickly. I was quickly assigned my proctor. And then there were no problems with my exam. So I was just like, why? Anyway, the exam, y'all, when I tell you that exam was hard, as soon as I closed my computer after the exam, I was just like, oh, I put wrong answer for this. I didn't look up the answer, but then you're just like, oh, now it's like all of a sudden things are coming to you. I just felt awful about the exam. So wish me luck, because who knows how I did. I will say, talking to other co-residents and other people in even other programs, they all thought that exam was hard. A lot of people thought that they were well prepared and was very surprised by the how hard the exam was. So here are just some tips if you are a Derm resident going to take those exams. Take it in a testing center. Now, don't get me wrong, I've heard of problems in testing centers as well, but I don't think I've heard as many problems as I've heard of people taking it at home. All of my seniors in my specific program took it at home and never had a problem. I had a problem, and my co-resident in my year also had a problem, and we took our exams on 2 different days, but of the same week. And then when I took my test, when I finally did take my test, it was so easy. So it's just such a pull to just take it at home because it's so comfortable. It's so nice when you close your computer, you're already home and you could just like relax. But then it's just the worry of your test, the test problems that I just had. And my co-resident in my year, she had a completely different problem than I did. She said she was taking her exam and it shut down on her. So there's so many different problems that I've heard. I think it might be safer to take this at the testing center. Another tip I have for you guys is that there's a block that is given to take the exam, like from dates A to dates B, and I took mine at the ending, like dates B, where we are like around the last dates you're available to take the test for that block. You can also take it. I recommend taking it earlier, which is what I'm going to do for my next exam, earlier in the block. So should you have problems, you have availability to move or play around with your dates, because they're not there. Once there's a problem with the system, they don't make it difficult to reschedule. It's just about having the availability. When I was talking to the people working at the test, when I was talking to the people in the company about rescheduling, they were like, that Saturday, I took my test that Friday, they said that Saturday was the last day of the testing block. So if I didn't take it between that Friday and Saturday, I would have had to wait for like that those October, November dates. So those are the main tips I have for you. But all I'm just gonna say is wish me luck, because I feel horrible about the exam. Learn the lessons from me. Don't make my mistakes. And yeah, so I love chatting with you guys. I am hoping to get more content out to you. I'm just always so busy, so it's really, really hard, but I'm really going to try. I love chatting with you guys. If you have any comments, any questions, just let me know. And I look forward to chatting with you at my next video. Bye.